Connor,
Cool.
pleasure to meet you. Super excited to kind of hear your story, your background, what you're working on at Seed, and kind of how it's changing the world. I also really want to hear like your overall perspective on like the world of ag tech and how you've seen things changing. But we'll start off with kind of the origin story, So tell me about your background. Tell me where the accent comes from. Tell me where you're at now and how you got there.
Cool. Nice to meet you too, Grant. So I'm from Zimbabwe originally, born in Zimbabwe. I moved around as a child a lot, so I've lived in Malawi, Zambia, South Africa, Mozambique as well. Um, and then, yeah, I'm only 20 years old, so basically straight after school, I worked for a few months in Mozambique, and then I came over here to the Netherlands to study this uh, very unique course. So I'm studying in quotation marks because there's not much studying, but I'm studying entrepreneurship. Uh, and it's an insanely practical course. So there's not much studying. It's just here's some mentors, here's access to resources, and do your thing. And they just help push you in the right direction, challenge you, keep you accountable, and yeah, just started building Seed.
Is
Um,
this at a university or what?
yeah, so it's called Unknown University. Uh, Unknown because their mission is to fuel founders to fix the future. And you can't fix the future by doing what's been done, so what's known. So you have to venture into the unknown, hence the name Unknown. But yeah, such a cool community here, to be honest. Like Zimbabwe is it stems off the British culture a bit, because Zimbabwe was a British colony. So the limited thinking and like the unwillingness to think big or let anyone try something bold is just, yeah, it's insane there. It's such a closed-minded society. So to come here where you tell them some big ambitious idea that's got like 0% chance of working, and everyone's like, fuck yeah, go try. So
I love it.
yeah,
That's the culture we try to push here in my program too. Like, I don't know, let's try it. So
yeah.
we'll give it a shot. And
I think America's like the pinnacle of that mindset. Yeah.
yeah, we yeah, we've had enough rockets explode to prove that. So well,
Yeah,
perfect, man.
exactly.
Tell me the origin of Seed. How did you come up with this idea? Where did the problem come from? What's the background?
So it's quite a complicated journey. When I arrived at this university 2 years ago, I was like, okay, first off, let me find a problem that is meaningful. So if I solve it, there's a meaningful business we can build around that. The first problem that really stuck out to me was this thing called the Stickstoff crisis. It means the nitrogen crisis. And it's a big problem in the Netherlands right now because of all the EU regulations and how agriculture intensive the Netherlands is. So the Netherlands is the second biggest agricultural exporter in the world, and they second only to America. And here it's 1/283 times the size or something. So it's like a dot, and it's competing with America, which is insane.
Yeah, we were just talking earlier, and you said it takes about 2 hours to drive across, like the whole country.
Yeah,
Like, what's the main exports, if you don't mind me asking?
I think a main one is dairy. Their dairy cows, one dairy cow in the Netherlands produces 7 times more milk than a cow anywhere else in the world, which is mind-blowing. Also, they have a lot of greenhouses, so they have like these massive farmlands, and it's just, imagine like a big, obviously here it's all owned by thousands of different people. It's not like America where one person has a massive plot of land. But these massive fields of just greenhouses. So here they farm food very intensely, but to be fair, half the food just tastes like water. Like the tomatoes have no flavor, but they can produce a bunch of them. So I don't know specifically what the most exported thing is, though, to be honest.
Interesting. I'd be very interested taste is one thing, but I'd be very interested to see what the caloric density is, as well as the how nutritious it is compared to, you know, like a ground grown tomato. Because we're seeing a lot in like hydroponics, aquaponics, a lot of new ways. And I know like not corn husks, coconut husks are becoming very popular now for kind of growing aquaponics in. But I do wonder like how much nutrient density is in these versus in the soil. But that's a different tangent for later. Tell me more about, you said the nitrogen problem is one of the biggest things facing the Netherlands, right?
Yeah. So basically, because they're so agriculture intensive, they're having a problem now where all the nitrogen they've been using in their fertilizers, as it rolls off, nitrogen's also in manure and everything. It obviously, some of it runs off the land into all the water systems, so all the canals and everything. And they have a massive problem with eutrophication. So where too much nitrogen gets in the water, a bunch of algae grows, and then it starves off all the fish of oxygen. It's a big problem in the world, like globally, but in the Netherlands it's particularly bad. So all these regulations have been put in place without any solutions, as normal, I guess. So the average dairy farmer in the Netherlands is paying around 40,000 euros to remove manure, their cow shit, off their farm. To me, as a Zimbabwean, coming in and seeing this, I was just like, manure is a resource, and you're paying someone more money than I've ever heard of before to remove it off your land. Like, stupid system, there's something we can do. So I went on this whole deep dive. I basically drove around the province I'm in now, South Holland, and spoke to, I think, every single dairy farmer. I would just go to their house and say, hey, can I have a cup of tea? Went in there. Most of them spoke English all right. And just try to learn about this problem. And there's so many different caveats and stuff. It's one of those typical things that comes from too much bureaucracy, and it's just an idiotic system now. But I found out about this technology. You put cow shit in, cow manure, sorry. And then bacteria bacteria breaks it down and it makes biogas. And then it also makes a fertilizer, which is lower in nitrogen. So they can use that on their farm again. And that sounds like a perfect solution. So then I started looking into why it isn't done, whatever, and try to set up a kind of a cooperative system where 10 farmers in a region could put money together, get one, and help manage it together, and then just process their manure there and share in the benefits. Anyway, long story short, didn't end up doing that because after a year of deep diving into this thing, talking to investors, municipalities to get licenses, etc., another company invested 500 million in the exact same thing. And same day I found out about that, I was at a farming event and I got told, fuck off, Engelsman, like 10 times. And it was kind of a moment for me where I thought, this is a market where I don't speak the language, I can't communicate with the user or the customer I want to sell to, and I'm in waters that I just don't understand. Anyway, after all of that happened, I went back home for the summer to Zimbabwe, and then also traveled around Mozambique a bit. And while I was home, I was telling people about this technology because I was like, hey, did you know you can turn cow shit into clean energy? Like, that's pretty cool. Everyone said bullshit, so I built one.
You said, yes, that's what we're working with, bullshit.
Yeah. Anyway, I built one and then it was working. And that's where the idea stemmed from. So the machine started working. We put cow shit in and biogas came out. And then that's when I got my 2 co-founders now that I have to join me. And we said, very clear problem. Basically in that region we're in Mozambique, only 0.4% of the population has access to something to cook on that doesn't kill them. So very clear problem. The technology worked. It was simple. It costs us like 200 euros to make. And we were just like, yeah, let's try to solve this. And only after that, so initially I didn't even know how deep this problem was.
Yeah.
And then after that, I started researching about this whole thing of cooking on firewood. And holy shit, it's insane. Like, it's so mind-blowing when you really dive into it all, because there's the expected problems. Like, you expect deforestation and emissions to come up. That makes sense. The scale of how much deforestation and how much emissions firewood causes, people don't realize how big that is, but you expect that.
Yeah.
And then you think every family is spending like 3 hours a day chopping down trees, collecting wood, preparing fires. Think about the systemic oppression and reinforcement of poverty that would cause. Imagine yourself, every day you had to go for 3 hours and chop down a tree and prepare.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be close to where you are now. Technology wouldn't have evolved to where it is now,
Yeah.
And then on top of that, you find out about the diseases and stuff, and that's just mind-blowing. Over 3 million people die a year from firewood.
Well, is it from like the inhalation of the smoke, or?
Yeah, because firewood smoke causes a bunch of different things. It's filled to the top with carcinogens, causes pneumonia, heart diseases, COPD, lung cancer, strokes, whatever you can think of, it's there. And it's so sad that most of these people it's over a quarter of humanity. So 2.3 billion people still cook on firewood. And it's the portion of humanity that doesn't have the finances to escape. So it's just this. Yeah.
I just want to pause you right there. What you've done is so great. I'm 100% going to show this to all my students because like the whole first third of our program, we just focus on like going through the lean model canvas of like figuring out who's your customer, what's the problem you're solving, why do they care, who's your competition, what are they currently using to solve this problem, and you just laid out perfectly all of those of like the current solution that they're using to solve like they need to have fire to cook their food, but like what they're using is poisoning them. Like we introduced something that's like cleaner, safer, like better for the environment, better for everything, like better for the trees. Like it's already being produced by the cows, so like it's not going anywhere. So like perfect. I love it. Like you've done such a great job of breaking down that problem and like how big the problem is of, you say like 2.2 billion people are using firewood every day.
2.3 billion. It's
insane, man. I love it. So talk to me about kind of where you're at right now. Have you gotten the first ones out there? Are people using them? What's the feedback you've gotten so far?
So first thing we did, very entrepreneurial, we built 10 and we put them in the hands of our customers. And then we were just going every week and talking to them. How's it going? What are you struggling with? When it wasn't working, why is it not working? Why, whatever. And we've just been, for like 8 months, that was just our real focus there, was talking to the customer, iterating the design, and just this constant cycle of learning, iterate. Because, a bunch of shit was wrong with our first ones, to be honest. They weren't the correct amounts of gas storage, so people could only cook like half their meal and then half they still had to cook on firewood, which is just stupid. Like, what are we doing? You're not solving the problem at all. So anyway, we've been through this whole process of just learning as much as possible with this thing. And now we've finished the final designs. We've signed contracts with manufacturers. So we've now got a manufacturer that in the next week, fingers crossed, but it's Africa. So probably in the next month, we'll have our final product and we can produce 50 a week. And then from there, we can really scale up.
Where are you producing them at? What country?
In South Africa.
South Africa?
Yeah. South Africa is really in that area the only real viable option, because Zimbabwe's at a very unstable state right now. So I wouldn't set up any infrastructure there. Mozambique doesn't have any existing infrastructure. So ideally, because that's where our massive network is, ideally I'd like to bring the manufacturing to Mozambique. But the prices we were seeing there for what the manufacturers wanted to charge us there, it's just stupid. And you can't find that much skilled labor, especially where we are. So like in the capital of Mozambique, there's a bunch of bright minds and a lot of highly educated people. We're in the middle of nowhere. Like where we are, there's nothing. Our biggest supermarket is probably 5 square meters. Like there's nothing. So to set up something there just didn't make sense. So that's in South Africa.
How are your customers finding you and like paying for your product?
So I think it's still one of my proudest moments. One of my co-founders, he has a company, he's had a company for 14, 15 years in Mozambique now. He has a network. His company supplies and buys from, I think, 20,000 farmers. So we've got the network there. Because these farmers are Mozambique's very decentralized. So we've got one main road that comes through the middle, like, of all these towns. Okay. And then the farms are just dotted randomly, these little 5-hectare patches in the middle of nowhere. So for you to go out and contact them first it's a silly exercise. It's a losing game. It's how most NGOs that come into the country try to do it. And it's silly. It's such a energy intensive thing to get each person is like a full day of traveling probably to find them. So we partnered with his company, and he just helps us get access to these farmers whenever they come for like an event for their company. We're there. So yeah.
Awesome, man. Dude, that's great. How you said within the next week to a month you should have the first prototypes out. So
the final version,
the final first final product. Okay, but I love that you were honest about the like first version came out and here were the flaws in it, but like it was. I love Reid Hoffman's quote where he says, if you're not embarrassed by your MVP, then you release too late, and like that's perfect.
That's a good quote.
Yeah, trying to push more of my students to like, yes, I understand your product is ugly, but it solves the problem. Get it out there, like get it tested, get your feedback, and we can make little changes here and there and like get it back to them, but as long as it solves the problem, that's all that matters, and you can make it better as you go. But I love that. It's perfect, especially on like hardware stuff. It's a lot easier to see the changes instead of on the software. So perfect. Kind of taking a little bit of a pivot. I'd love to hear a little bit more about kind of the Netherlands and what you're seeing in the local entrepreneurship system there. Are you seeing like beyond just Unknown University? Are you seeing a lot more entrepreneurial activity? Is there like startup hubs? What are you seeing in the Netherlands? I've never been, so.
Yeah, the Netherlands in general, I would say is pretty good at all of that, especially compared to the rest of Europe. They're really good at stimulating this whole all these hubs and communities and everything. I'm very fortunate because the one I'm a part of, Unknown University is the university, and then you've got the Unknown like ventures. It's a venture capital thing, and then Unknown Spaces. So they've got these physical locations where a bunch of startups come and work, and it's all under one company. So my university there's like 3 rooms in a building that are ours, and the rest of the building there's I think 40-50 different startups. So we like the people I have lunch with are really successful entrepreneurs just paving their own way. So I would say from my perspective, it's incredible, the startup community and everything, but I'm also at the heart of the incredible part of it all. So I don't travel much around the Netherlands to different hubs because everyone else travels to mine. So it's very lucky. Yeah. But yeah, it's also what I always find really insane is that the Dutch government is actively involved in like actually facilitating, specifically The Hague. They call themselves Impact City. So they're actively involved in trying to like help founders and startups that are solving climate or social issues. They really put a lot of effort. Like the government has a department that's goal is to just help entrepreneurs that are doing impactful stuff.
You said The Hague? Explain that.
The Hague. Yeah.
How do you spell that?
The Hague. The actual
Auge. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
I haven't heard that before, so gotcha. Is that
Maybe you heard it like Den Haag? Den Haag? No. It has a lot of different names, to be honest.
No worries. So that's the department of the government helping entrepreneurs?
Yeah. No, that's the city.
It's the city. Oh, okay. The city
Yeah.
insurance. Gotcha. Okay. Yeah.
The city is The Hague, and then I'm blanking on the name, but Impact City, which is this municipality department.
Gotcha.
Their sole goal is to help facilitate the city to just help entrepreneurs and everything.
Right.
So
do they do any sort of like VC funding, or is it just like helping get like visa passports, or
connecting people, sharing, like they have newsletters that go out to everyone about it all, helping you set up. So they have channels to help people get visas, I think, and help set up their companies and everything. And then just like the network, yeah. So we have these massive events in the city where they basically bring in all the impact founders into one place for a weekend. And yeah, that alone is just incredible.
Sounds super helpful. I always like, so we'll wrap up with this one. I want to be careful of your time. Like I said, I have a lot of university students and a lot of first-time founders I work with, and a lot of them watch this channel. So if you had to give one piece of advice to, all these first-time and university students, what's that one piece of advice that you would give?
So obviously you sent me the questions before, so I saw this and I was thinking about it a lot. I think the standard advice of surround yourself by intelligent and ambitious people and ask questions is true. So that's the first part. I think that's true. But the part that no one says is do that. Surround yourself with these people, ask questions, and then ignore it all and do your own thing. You're gonna fail regardless. There's not a single person ever in history that's been successful and not failed. So listen to them and then do your own thing. Just try something, and who gives a shit? You're guaranteed to fail. Not you're probably going to. You will. Guaranteed. So make it happen as fast as possible. Like get through those failures and just try something.
Love it, man. I mean, you're so right. Every failure is just one step closer to that first success, So you got to just get through those, and you got to learn those lessons, and that's perfectly fine. Nobody makes it to the top without a few notches on their head. So perfect. Well, where can my audience kind of follow you and what you've been working on? And is LinkedIn the best place, or is there another channel where they can keep up with what you're working on?
LinkedIn's the only social media I'm really active on. I'm scared of the other ones. That doom scrolling thing it's a dangerous thing.
It's real.
So I just keep on LinkedIn, and also at Seedmoz, SEEDMOZ.com. That's our website. If you want to get in contact with us to do partnerships or explore some opportunities in Africa, there's a contact form there. And
I love it, man. Thank you so much for your time today, Connor. It's been a pleasure talking to you and learning about everything you're doing at Seed and how you're changing the world. So thank you very much, man. And I'll talk to you later.
Thank you, Grant. It was nice to meet you. And thank you for the platform.
Absolutely.